My mind is blown, and ladies, listen up because I got to share this. So, I posted the newest episode of the F the Nice Guy podcast out today, and my co host is my friend Abby. And we were talking about, how men will just like defend other men, even strangers they don't know, when they do terrible things. Like, why is that? Like, where do they get off doing that? And why do they do that? And she said, well, when men identify with the action, they will find excuse in the circumstance. I'll say it again. When men identify with the action, they will find excuse in the circumstance, meaning that's when those men are coming out and leaving comments and being, well, did you think about this? And maybe this man did that. And what about this, that, and the other thing? And it's because they identify not with the victim of what happened, but with the action that the man did. And they need an excuse in the circumstance because to judge that man would be to judge themselves.
And that, my dears, is why actions speak louder than words in the Mormon Church. Let me read you a quote. Children are highly vulnerable. They have little or no power to protect or provide for themselves, and little influence on so much that is vital to their well-being. Children need others to speak for them, and they need decision-makers who put their well-being ahead of selfish adult interests. Dallin H. Oaks. This guy was the same person who headed off the video series that trained bishops when I was growing up.
For helping those who often cannot help themselves. Bless you for trying to help perpetrators free themselves from the effects of their grievous sin.
Oh, poor widow perpetrators. Example 2.
Your responsibilities also include helping the perpetrator stop the abuse, repent, and reform his or her life. This may be a long process. It may involve church discipline, professional counseling, and even legal intervention.
Legal intervention like fighting clergy penitent privilege all the way up to the Arizona Supreme Court so that children are less protected than the perpetrators who hurt them? Or what's going on in New Mexico in the same situation? They are fighting for clergy penitent privilege, which protects perpetrators, and that protects the church. On to example 3.
Remember, Bishop, we have an obligation to help redeem the perpetrator, too. Some feel remorse and are repentant. Others deny wrongdoing and try to shift the blame. Change is difficult, particularly for repeat offenders.
And they know this.
Many perpetrators express remorse, but few actually change until they experience the full consequences of their immoral and illegal actions.
And where do they experience that? If they get a slap on the hand in both the ecclesiastical and legal courts, Dallin. The most sinister part of this video is where Dallin H. Oaks is talking about victims. He precedes a statement, on the other hand, and then shows the woman's hand. Women are usually the victims.
Many victims, especially children, do not confide in their leaders.
That's because their gut knows.
Fear that they will not be believed or may be blamed. On the other hand, some accusations involve false statements about abuse.
Abuse in any form is a predatory and damning sin. If unrepented, it can stop the eternal progress of the perpetrator.